Here's the part that most Americans don't get. Like, these factory workers have specialized technical skills. Like, you can't just one day decide to open a factory in Ohio and have it run like the factories in like Shenzhen or something, because that takes years of training and infrastructure. So when Agent Orange say, we're gonna bring back manufacturing, and then he doesn't tell you guys how, it's just freaking empty talk. No plan, no workforce, like just vibes. I kind of want to like just trade my brain with one of these like MAGA people, or those people that believe in Trump so much. Like I want to understand how they could be so like just believe everything he says. I don't understand.
Do you know how much a Chinese factory make for a pair of Nike shoes? $10, which sells 150 on the shelf. A Stanley Cup, $50. The factory gets $1. $1. But when they sell millions of them, that's millions of dollars. And all surplus. That's where the surplus comes from. But for every $1 the factory made, somebody in America is making $49. Who is benefit from the globalization? And think about the pollution the factory has to cause in the local area. Who is benefit from the globalization? I don't know.
MAGA no like tariffs. Tariffs make price go up. MAGA no like trade war. Biggest trade war with China. MAGA no like. Why? China buy no more beef from red states. Red states have too much beef. Oversupply of beef. Must sell lower price. MAGA no like. They pretend they're okay with it because they'll put up with anything that Mr. Dump does. But they no like. China no buy chicken, poultry. Simple economics, supply and demand. Now we will have lots of beef and lots of poultry. That means price go down. Good for us, bad for farmers. MAGA no like tariffs. MAGA no like trade war. MAGA no like how China fighting back with U.S. Did you know that like 90% of what everybody buys for Christmas toys, games from around the world, do you know where they mostly come from? Where they're mainly manufactured? China. MAGA no like that.
China will lose the U.S. market, which, as I've said, is 15%.
We don't care. We don't care. China has been here for 5,000 years. Most of the time, there was no United States, and we survived.
In Beijing, they're not reading Donald Trump's Art of the Deal. They're reading Sun Tzu's Art of War. And the reason the Chinese are going to win this trade war is because they have a completely different understanding of the nature of time. In America, time is money. It's a resource used to generate profit. That's why Americans get less paid leave than any other developed country in the world. But in China, time is something used to plan, to strategize, to get to know your enemy. Probably the best example of this is the Belt and Road Initiative. Started in 2013, the Chinese have spent $1.2 trillion on 3,000 infrastructure projects in 150 countries. Now, it will take decades for them to see a return on that investment. But the Chinese know that by putting that money in now, they will be able to develop markets and get access to resources which will last for centuries. It's fascinating to see that Trump's defenders don't even have the attention span to follow through their own argument towards its logical conclusion. Here's somebody saying that 10 million jobs being lost in China would be massive. That would change everything. What they don't realize, and what the Chinese do realize, is that those 10 million jobs will go if China gives in on the trade war. That's the purpose of the trade war, remember, is to move jobs from China to America. China knows it will definitely lose if it gives in. So it's prepared to hold on for a bit. It can hold on for 10 years, 20 years, because it knows that in 5,000 years, it will have benefited if it says no to America now.
You got China saying they're going to quit selling to the United States. Who are they going to sell to? Uganda?
Why
love that he thinks this is some kind of slam on emerging markets in China. And in reality, he's completely right. We just handed China emerging markets like Uganda on a silver platter as a gift from Donald Trump's failed policies.
They depend on us buying their stuff so much their economy will collapse.
Yeah, it's not going to collapse, and here's why. China's factories can easily adapt to being able to produce things that developing nations need. And then in return, those developing nations can sell them primary products. Donald Trump is legitimately creating policy that is elevating China in the eyes of the world as a trading partner.
Today we are diving into a story that is shaking MAGA nation like never before, where DT's tariffs on China, the very policy millions of his supporters once cheered, is now backfiring in a ways they never expected. And just when things couldn't get crazier, China just sent a message straight to Americans and MAGA voters in general that has everyone talking. It's a warning and a truth bomb and a reality check that has left people questioning everything. The reality that MAGA people are facing right now from China. Remember, they were celebrating about tariffs. They are devoted about tariffs. They're celebrating about China to punish China.
Any of you guys got that friend that everybody, kind of mutually knows? And there's this kind of, there is this mutual warning about messing with that person. You know how you say, it's that friend. Everybody got that friend. Say, mine, don't mess with him. Don't mess with him. Or, dude, that ain't what you want. Trust me. Don't wake that up. You know that friend? That's China. China is that friend somebody should have warned Trump about. China, that friend, somebody should have said, dude, that ain't what you want. Y'all know China, Trump been blowing China up. Trump been blowing China phone up. And if they answer, when they have answered, it's being reported that they putting Trump on hold and playing Obama speeches. Yeah. China been putting Trump on hold and playing Obama speeches. China, that friend. China, that friend that he should have been warned about. That he should have been forewarned about. They put the man on hold. And from what it's been reported, he blowing their phone up in double-digit figure times a day. Double-digit figures now. He blowing their phone up. And if they answer, they put him on hold and they play Obama speeches. China, my kind of people. They're my kind because they weren't messing with us. We were getting our crap, we was getting our stuff, we were cool. China really wasn't messing with us. When a bully get his just desserts, whoever dishing that bully his just desserts, you gonna get you all right with me? You gonna get that. So, I'm trying to keep it together. I promise. But China's that one that said, you go low, we'll meet you below. Okay. Y'all have a good one. I ain't gonna even ask the question.
The part where we suffer in this trade war may be about to begin. I get asked a lot if we are going to feel any pain when it comes to this trade war in the US. Or if we do feel pain, does that mean we're losing the war? And also, how bad will it get? The words you often read in the comment section are short-term pain for long-term gain. The way I answer those questions simply is like this. World trade, commerce, and capitalism is the best vehicle ever developed to raise a person's social status that was born in a lower class, to improve one's quality of life, to rise up and live a life of abundance through hard work and, yes, a little bit of luck. Because success only happens when preparation meets opportunity. However, that world trade is currently broken. The vehicle is in disrepair. It's rusting in the backyard with the forks your mother used in the garden or the tricycle no one's used in years. IP theft, origin washing, currency manipulation, counterfeit goods, the destruction and takeover of small businesses. Almost all of these are perpetrated entirely by one entity. Global commerce has been systematically manipulated to become over-reliant on China by their subversively aggressive regime and their paid-for assets in governments and media all around the world. The globe has become codependent on an abusive partner. It's in a toxic relationship with a partner that doesn't care about it at all. We feel unloved, ignored, and forgotten. No pain we suffer because of their lies, their thieving, their gaslighting propaganda has any effect on their sensibility. These definitively evil means are justified as long as it leads to their glorious ends. It's Machiavellian. They aren't sadistic. They don't necessarily enjoy to see another in pain. But it is sociopathic, completely apathetic and cold, unmoved and uncaring by another's pain. They have no problem stepping on your back if it means they get a better view of the stage. So now we're just in the middle of a breakup from that relationship. The overbearing toxic influence we have tragically become over-reliant on. We have become grossly codependent. Just like fast food, it's easy, but it's very unhealthy. We are losing ourselves to their iron grip on our markets and communication networks. Because if you control the information, you control the mind. Brainwashing 101. Don't ask how I know that. So now, for our own sake, we must break away. These tariffs are basically us texting, it's not me, it's you. And now we're just going to leave them on red and get our asses back in the gym. And just like with any big breakup, there will be pain, there will be tears, there will be crying. For now, at least. Anyone that's ever been through a major breakup knows that that pain feels like it's going to last forever, that you'll never get over it when it's happening. But it doesn't take long for future you to understand that that is the best course of action for you and your children. Because no matter how bad it gets, it's better than the alternative. It sucks. For a while. Like a lot. But you will survive. And find another China. Another way to look at it is like this. If you've ever dislocated your shoulder, you know that eventually you're going to have to reset it. If you don't soon, you're going to deal with muscle tears, and ligaments and tendons and soft tissues are going to be strained and damaged irrevocably. And you start shitting yourself because you know in the near future, you're going to have a brief yet undeniably intense agony. Start thinking like, hey, maybe I could live the rest of my life with one hand. But you convince yourself and understand that that pain will be comparatively very brief. Would you ever not set your shoulder back in? Absolutely fucking not. You grow a pair and you deal with it because you know you have to. Because as soon as it's done, you can move on with life. The whole ordeal will just be ultimately a distant learning experience. The lesson learned? Next time, keep your drunk ass off the mechanical bull. But no, all will be right in the end. If it's not yet right, that's because it's still not yet the end. China is that bull. It's time we admit we are drunk off of cheap Chinese imports and take our asses the fuck home. If you like this video, repost it. Let me know what you think in the comments and follow me if you want more of this shit. Godspeed.
These MAGA people, they thought these tariffs is for punishing China. Yes, anyone can feel really nice, can feel proud when his country, like the superpower country, like biggest country, like, you know, when you talk about U.S. and China, those are big countries, those are superpower countries. So one of the superpower, the citizen, the MAGA people were feeling, you know, proud, fearing that now these Chinese, we are going to defeat them because they were seeing China is taking everything. China is taking American markets. China is dominating in America, which is strange because America is also a superpower. So that MAGA people, they didn't really like what China was doing. That's why they went ahead and voted about tariffs, thinking we are going to punish this China. This China, you know, is taking over everything, is carrying our, you know, our market, is just taking wherever that is passing. So we want to punish China. And the guy DT brought tariffs and tell them that these tariffs are for punishing that China that is making our heads boiling, making our blood boiling. So they said, we are going to vote because of that China. That China is going to be punished no matter what. All right. They went ahead and do the thing. They voted about tariffs, okay? So when the guy put in action about tariffs, which he puts in Project 2025 and show the MAGA people that everything that is there, it's clear. Now the people voted and they vote punishing China. Yes, they did punishing China, and punishing China, you know, was enjoyment, was the truth for them. But what they've seen, it's crazy. China have exposed everything. Recently, you've seen trend the way China exposed the brands, exposed everything that is manufactured in China. You've seen the video where the production cost can take like $10. For example, for a shoe can take $10 in production cost, but once it reach in America, it costs $150. And the Chinese, they were happy with that. Okay. But now they exposed everything. Everyone knows how things are made, how things are going, how things are done there. Now, who is suffering? Yes, the America gained. Yes, because they sell that shoe at $150, while China made it at $10. Okay, for them they are okay. But the China is the one that is facing that pollution from those industries. China is facing a lot of things, like after effects of the production. That's how I can call it. The after effects of production is faced by China. Now, these MAGA people, they didn't really care about the after effects of the production of that shoe. For example, I've taken a shoe and they want the production to be in America, which is good. Yes, a country having an industry, country having, like those big industry, it's very nice. But they forget there is after effects. There is effects there is effects of those big industries in China, mostly on population, on the air people they breathe, on the environment. There is effects. You see the sky of China the way it is. It's cloudy. It's not clear, and there is air pollution there. So you people, you wanted that air pollution to come. I'm not saying that you being in China is good, so it can stay. No. Okay, no one is favoring the air pollution, and all the industry, they're supposed to maintain that. That's what I'm saying. But on this side, what I want to mention is, you guys, you forgot that there is an after effect of those industries. There is an after effect. You forgot the production cost. They produced that shoe at $10. $10. So you include the workers, you include the resources, you include everything that it takes to make the shoe. And then you bring it. So that's what you wanted to come in America, for you guys just to have an industry to bring back the jobs that you wanted. Yes, that's what you wanted. You wanted those pollution to come in America. Yes, that's what you wanted. Okay, now you forget that China was hiding something big for you. It was hiding a lot of things. But now you made them to put it on out. Everybody can see that what China is doing. Now, if you thought DT trade was making America stronger, you might been lied to. Okay? Man, I believe that creating trade wars, it can make you many enemies than being stronger. People, they can hate you instead of, respecting you. And being, stronger, it's a respect you got from others. Yes. So you'd rather not get feared, but get respected. That's the first thing. That's the thing that can make you stronger. Now, the very farmers, truckers, and factory workers who voted red are starting to break down in frustration. We've seen many videos. People, they're there, complaining, saying that the ports are empty. You guys, you're the one who voted for that. So why are you complaining the ports are empty? Why are you complaining that you don't have where to sell? While you were planning to punish China, why are you complaining with a lot of things, So China last message just made things worse, and it's time to expose the truth. That's what people, have said. Back in the days, Aditi promised them to make, America great again. That's a clear promise, that they're going to make America great again by standing up to China. Yeah, that's the plan, okay? Massive tariffs on Chinese goods to force China to play fair and bring manufacturing jobs back to the US. That's how they plan to do it. And for millions of Americans, especially the rural Americans, MAGA voters, this sounded like, music to their eyes. They were dancing that music. They were tired of factories closing, tired of cheap Chinese goods flooding the market, tired of the globalism. Okay, So when DT imposed 25% on tariffs on over 306 billion worth of Chinese goods, his supporters, they clapped. Yeah, farmers, factory workers, truckers, and small town voters, they clapped and said, wow, the guy is doing great. The guy is doing, our things. Finally, someone is fighting for the country. That's the celebration. But they forget that things are going to be burned. We are facing empty pots. We are facing empty shelves. We are facing, people are not getting food. That's the truth. So finally, the tariffs have backfired. Those farmers, MAGA voters, men are waking up to reality. The tariffs didn't just hurt China, they hurt them too. Yeah, not only China, it's also hurting us. Higher price on every goods, retaliation. China slapped tariffs back to American exports. You see the soybeans. They refused to take the soybeans. They went back to Brazil to take the soybeans, man. Job losses. You've seen many layoffs. Many companies, big companies, are applying the layoffs, man. That's the effects, the after effects of those tariffs, man. We thought DT was helping us. Turns out we shot ourselves in the foot, which is true. Yeah, you shot yourself in the foot, and that's what's happening. Yeah. And now frustration is boiling over, which is making MAGA to regret and rethink about their action, what they did, what they voted for, man. Okay, when we're talking about these tariffs, it affects all the countries. Yeah, China is also affected by the tariffs. You've seen where like 10 million jobs have been, lost. People have lost their jobs, 10 million. So tariffs really work on long term, which people said it can affect both countries. American consumer pays most of the prices. It's not China that pays that. China adapted faster than expected. People, they were expecting China to come down on their knees, but Chinese, the way they built, they will not come on their knees. No way. No way. They'll find markets in Europe, Asia, and Africa, the way they mentioned, And so the mostly affected person is a regular American who is going to buy things at a higher price. Yeah. So the Chinese, they are there sitting there smiling because they know they have just prepared for that. Yeah, they are prepared. So which makes MAGA to be shocked because what they planned is not going through. That's what happens. So MAGA voters are waking up to hard truth. A trade war, they cheered, hurt them deeply, and China using to undermine American from within. Now the question is, MAGA, will they hold themselves accountable for causing all this? Okay? Or will they keep believing the same promise in 2028? Because we've seen reports saying that we are going to give him a chance again. That's what we've seen. So are they going to hold themselves accountable, or still they're going to hope for change in 2028? That's the question you should answer me in the comment section. Tell me what do you think about this video. Let's meet in the next one. I am Fikazo.